that improving your network, connecting with new people might look intimidating, especially if you feel that you're not really that outgoing or it doesn't come naturally to you to connect with new people, but it's necessary, not only inside of corporate America, in your 9 to 5, but also outside. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, but especially if you're an entrepreneur or you have that duality of being inside of corporate America, but also building your own personal brand. And how does that look like also for your mental health and your well-being? There's a myriad of benefits of honing in and nurturing your network, not only with peers, but also finding mentors and sponsors. So stay tuned because today we're going to dive into this topic and I'm bringing the goods to you. Let's go. But before we dive into the topic of today's show, if this is the first time you're meeting me, my name is Candy Calderon. I am a wellness expert and a brain health professional. I'm also the founder of CEO Wellness Club, where I work with organizations that are invested in their workforce well-being, where I deliver my wellness programs both in person and also virtually. And if you would love to invite me to your organization to deliver my workshops or for a speaking engagement, for a special event, I'll be delighted to support you that way. Here at CEO Wellness Club / corporate wellness, you can reach out to me, fill out the form, and we will make it happen. With more than 10 years of experience, I've coached thousands of powerful people just like you and wonderful organizations that have trusted me with their team's well-being. Now, into the topic of today, I am delighted to bring a special guest. So that's coming next. And without further ado, let me bring her in. Vivian, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you all for watching. We're going to have an awesome conversation today.
Absolutely. And for everyone who's tuning in live, do not hesitate to drop your questions in. We're going to be checking the chat to answer any of your questions. And if you are checking this out after we're done, just hit the hashtag replay and we will take care of watching whatever you leave in the comments and we will come back and answer any of your questions. So let's dive in right into this. For those that are just meeting you for the first time and don't know who Vivian is, who's Vivian? What are you doing right now? And let us get to know you a little bit better.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vivian Olo Din. I am Vivian Olo on all the things on social media, and I'm the CEO of Flourish Media, which is a marketing agency based in Miami, Florida. And I am a funding advocate for women entrepreneurs. We are responsible for Behind the Leaf, which is a 501c3 connected to helping women connect to capital. We envision a world where women find joy through entrepreneurship, and we activate your ability to tell your story, to build relationships that can help you to flourish.
I love it. And I just say, introduce yourself for the sake of everyone tuning in. Obviously, you and I have known each other for years and years, like 8 years now or something like that. But I am always so in awe of you, Vivian. And you know, obviously as my friend, but your commitment and your work ethic and the trajectory of your career and how you've been helping so many women along the way, women and men too, because the work that you do, as you always emphasize, is for women but men friendly. And as we're going to talk about the importance of having a tribe, networking, connections. We all know that having different point of views, voices, and connections, mentors, sponsors, it's so important. But I'm always in awe of how you move and through not only corporate, but also your business. And I think it's so valuable. And that's why I wanted to do this with you today, because you have so much to share in terms of how to navigate those two, right? Because your background, you come from a corporate background.
Yes, I do. I come from a corporate background. I loved working for someone. I love the stability that you get. I love the opportunity to learn every single day. It's really exciting to be connected to different people. I come from a military family, so I've lived all over the world. I was born in Germany. My mother's from Panama. My father's from Nigeria. And when I walked into the corporate space, it was an opportunity to use the skills I developed in college. I have 3 degrees and advanced degrees. And so when I was able to apply everything that I learned in college to my work every day, I found that very fulfilling, not only because it allowed for me to apply the things I knew, but it also gave me an opportunity to kind of fulfill that American dream, right? Coming from immigrant background, I think we can all agree and put it down in the comments that your parents want you to be able to activate all the things that they've poured into you through your education.
Yes.
And so I think corporate America is a great place to be able to do that.
Yeah, and also to hone in certain skills that we only get when we are, going through the ringer in corporate America. And so many of us, especially our audience, have that duality where many of them, just like you and I, come from corporate America, and many of them have both of them because they're still in corporate America and have their own businesses. And it's such a beautiful thing to see, because now we see more and more, like before you have to choose either or, but then now we like, why do I have to choose? I can be and excel in corporate America and at the same time have my own brand, be my own brand, and capitalize and monetize that outside of corporate America. And I think that's so beautiful because you've done that. And walk us through your transition coming from corporate America and building your own business, and how having and creating these connections have helped you along the way.
Well, I think that a lot of my success in as an entrepreneur came from what I learned in corporate America. Those of you who are watching this who have a job, pay attention to how the business is operated. There are so many things that you will never get as an entrepreneur that you can only get from working in a corporate environment. Things like understanding the hierarchy within a company, understanding the importance of organizational charts, being able to look at mentorship within a community. Things like, do we reply all, or do we reply only to the person who sent that email? Those small things will help you to be successful as you have a business, whether you are in a corporate environment or whether you are operating your own business. For myself, I used to work in luxury real estate, and there was a great opportunity to connect with many different facets of life, but I worked as a marketing director for a real estate company. And in doing so, I was able to see what is required in order to build big ads, right? So I was very happy that when I worked for this company, we worked on Super Bowl ads, we worked on newspaper publications, we were pitching to TV, we worked, it was at the time where we were shifting our budgeting from spending a lot on print to spending on social media. And so that was an exciting time where at the time I had about $3.4 million that I was spending just on social media, which was only a small portion of the marketing budget. And so taking that information, understanding how a large corporation is going to spend its marketing dollars has been nothing but beneficial to the concepts and the strategies that I take when I'm supporting a small business that doesn't have several millions of dollars to spend.
Yeah, because remember, small business, corporate mindset, because that's also something that both of us have noticed along the way as we've worked with so many small businesses. And is that sometimes we carry that small business and a small mindset. And the only way we can grow and thrive really as small business owners, regardless if you are all in as a small business owner or have that duality of still continue, which we love, continue to be in corporate America and then have your own business. It's, yes, small business, but corporate mentality, corporate mindset, because we want to siphon in all that knowledge and that mindset and apply it to a small business. And a big part of that is networking. connections. We cannot grow by ourselves. And there's such a beauty. And I have always, again, been in awe of how you navigate and how good, because there's some people who are natural born connectors, and it comes so easy for them, and you are one of them. So I wanted to really focus this conversation around, for those who are still in corporate America and want to learn how to navigate and connect with people, network, because again, careers, advancement, promotions, having the right mentors, the right sponsors for you to climb that ladder is as important as when you are a small business owner to get those deals, to get those checks, to get those contracts. So what are your tips? 1 or 3 tips that you can share in terms of networking, in terms of navigating that space, especially for those who might not be so outgoing?
Well, when it comes to navigating the corporate space so that you can elevate as a professional, and then utilizing those skills as an entrepreneur, is really about finding your tribe. Being able to find those people, whether it's in a corporate environment or those who are in your entrepreneurial world, who believe in the concepts and the values that you have moving forward. I know that I would not have pursued entrepreneurship truly if it wasn't for a supervisor that I had at my job, who simply recognized that I enjoy being around people. I love coming up with campaigns, and I was going to be exposed to those things. But it was in the corporate environment that I started to ask for assignments. Pay attention. That's my first tip. Pay attention to what works. And what I'm saying is, within the framework of your job and your position, how can you be the best version of that? You'd be surprised how life-changing it can be when other people can see your commitment to your position and to your work ethic. I know that I was given a lot of different opportunities within my position that were above my pay grade, that were way beyond what I was doing in my role and in the organizational chart that I mentioned before. But thank goodness that those above me saw that work and also started to promote me and recommend me for opportunities. It was actually, like I said, someone who was in my company who recommended, "Hey, Vivian, you seem to really enjoy working on these campaigns. We have a realtor who sold a home and they made a ton of money. They now want to open another business." And that's, you name it, they've opened it. Laundromats, spas, all different types of businesses. And then, you know what, Vivian, they want to work with you because they enjoyed the marketing training that you did within real estate when you were talking about social media. And since you were able to train them on social media to sell this high ticket home, they believe that you can also train them on social media so that they can be successful in this next business. And that happened the first time, then it happened the 5th time, then it happened the 16th time.
There you go.
And it kept happening. So much so that I was in a corporate environment that was very encouraging to being an entrepreneur and having that entrepreneurial spirit. So they actually asked me to incorporate a business so that they could send people to me and pay me again, not only my own salary, but pay me again a referral for those individuals who needed that additional social media and digital reputation work.
Yes. And I love it because it is a conversation that I think more and more we need to have. People, especially women, feel that they need to choose one or the other. But if we boil it down, we are, each one of us, a walking brand. We are our own brand. And what makes us stick and stand out is our work ethic. You mentioned it, but also how we deliver. And when we over deliver, people will always come looking for you again and again and again. And I always say this: be a delight to work with, and people will come back. Be a delight, because it's not enough that you are good at what you do, but if you're a delight to work with, and if you have the work ethic, that will transpire outside of the corporate room, outside of the boardroom, and people will gravitate towards you. So I feel that when you have that it factor, but you can also create it, you can also learn it and practice it, so you can move around within your corporate setting and outside. And I think that's where the magic happens. And I've seen you do it all the time, and that's why I'm taking notes, because I see you and I see how you move around, and how also I think genuine is how you move around people. Because let's talk about people who are takers when they are networking, and it's only take, and they're never in a position or willing to provide. And when we are networking, let's talk about how is this a two-way via, and then we're networking, but I want value from you, but I should equally bring value to you as well.
So I love that you said that. So networking is definitely a two-way street. If you were to look me up, I think the thing that most people are kind of fascinated with is the fact that myself, my business partner, raised $15 million to invest into businesses that are owned and operated by women. And that is 100% done through networking, through relationship management. But I want you to remember that although you are connecting with another person, especially in a corporate environment, when you're looking at those people who are overseeing your department, or those who are in HR, or those who may be the founder of the company, or the CEO, the C-suite, you might think, I don't have anything to offer those people. But that is not true. You do have something to offer. You have your attention to offer, you have your integrity to offer, and you have the ability to learn. So when it comes to connecting with angel investors, funders, and VCs, for that matter, I wasn't born a rich person. so there's one of these things where, okay, what could I possibly have to offer a VC or an angel investor if they are looking to grow their portfolio? Well, I happen to know a lot of women business owners, and I know that they are interested in growing their businesses. And it just so happens that there is a disconnect. It just so happens that within VCs and angel investing, that there is a significant deficit with the number of women who receive funding, and that a lot of VCs, angel investors, want to have the option to invest into businesses that are owned and operated by women, but they don't come across them, or they are not in the same environment. And so what we've been able to do then is what do I have to offer in that scenario? Well, I know that I can bring all those women at least into one room over the course of a weekend, and that is turned into the Flourish Media Conference, where we invite angel investors and women business owners into one space. But how did I meet those investors? It started with being a person of integrity in my corporate position. It started with being able to show up and be consistent with those individuals who did sell those high ticket homes or properties, or they've invested in commercial properties, and now they are sitting on a lump sum of money, and they want to contribute that money through impact investing. It's not charity, but impact investing toward a woman business owner. But if they didn't see me show up for my board meetings on time, if they didn't see me write that email and understand the culture of my company, where I don't reply all, I reply directly to that person. Or if you're in the office, you do reply all and you don't reply to that person, but you're able to understand the rules of your environment. That is very important when it comes to networking, and understanding that one of those rules to be successful is to pay attention to what you can give before you start to look at what you can get. That's very important.
Yeah, 100%. And I think this conversation is so important, because many times, especially in my field, when we are talking about the well-being of professionals, entrepreneurs, leaders of impact, we forget the impact of having a tribe networking on our well-being. When we feel isolated, when we feel that we cannot connect with others, not only to uplift us, but to feel a sense of belonging. And those connections that can then transform in, hey, let me recommend you to this X or Y, let me refer you, or just to have an environment of like-minded people. upper and also transactional this way, because many of us feel that networking only happens upwards. I feel that many beautiful connections can also happen like in this way, and when we are in similar wavelengths, positions, and many times we forget about that and how supported we feel and how that impact our well-being. So in terms of health, well-being, and how that it's so important to learn how to navigate networking, because it definitely plays a role in the sense of belonging and in the sense of society, which is so important for a well-rounded well-being. And that makes me so happy that we're talking about this, because a huge part of our belonging here in the Florida community, but not only Florida. Let's start here, but it's all over now, nationally, expanding nationally to United States. It has been the work of Flourish Media via the work that you do with Flourish as in general, but also a beautiful event that you put out every year. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So Flourish Media has a 501c3 called Behind the Leaf. And Behind the Leaf is an awesome closed community where we have an angel investor matchmaker. It's called the Flourish Media Conference. It's hosted in February here in South Florida every single year. And the beautiful thing about Behind the Leaf is that it's focused on investor readiness training. And a big part of that is your ability to network, your ability to nurture and maintain positive relationships. Because when we look at the fact that women aren't receiving funding in their businesses, a lot of it is because of proximity. You're just around each other. That's the answer. And so how do we solve that? Well, we have a matchmaking weekend here in Miami, Florida, and it's called the Flourish Media Conference, where you can purchase tickets to attend. But as it is a closed community, when you're a member of the community, you're able to attend. We also have master classes that we do in partnership with Capital One Bank. And we do 4 of those a year that breaks down the nuts and bolts of what it looks like to have a relationship. You know, when someone's going to invest in you, first of all, they need to understand your story. So your ability to tell your story without telling a sob story, because it's impact investing. It's not a memoir, and it's it's not American Idol. The person with
not a sympathy competition.
Not a sympathy competition. It's, do you have a great business idea? Yes or no? And how did you come about with that? And how do you share that? Then the other piece is your sales. If someone is going to invest in you, they want to know that you have the ability to show up online, to show up in person, to go to these board meetings, a skill you get when you work in corporate and you pay attention, to be able to have these conversations. And then being able to understand your IP, all of the different avenues in which you can grow the business. You're in corporate America right now, which means you probably have a skill or education that supports that skill and work experience. But the reality is, there's additional ways that you could be making money simply from that skill. And your ability to see that is really attractive to angel investors. And so those are some of the things that we focus on with our master classes. And it goes without saying that we look at the dollars and the cents of your financials to understand P&L, understanding your balance sheet, and being able to make projections so that you can show someone on paper through accounting why your business is a good investment.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's we feel here like Shark Tank, but show me the profits. You know, it's like we want the businesses to be profitable, and that is, I feel, such a crucial skill and a skill set and experience that's why I always suggest to people go the corporate route first. Or if you can have the duality of staying in corporate and still have and build your business, because there are certain things on how running a business works that you will not get it if right out of the bat you become an entrepreneur. I know that many don't feel like they can be entrepreneurs. Like it's just I'm good working for another people. That's also okay, because we also need to understand our skill set, our personalities, what we feel more comfortable with. But if you feel you're a person that can do both, I say always start in corporate, gather all this information, be like a sponge and create all this and gather all this experience, and then use that to build a profitable business. Because when you stand up in front of a Vivian, she will ask you, how much is your business making? Does it make sense for us to pull in our network in front of you and to ask those favors and to make those calls to bring you in front of investors with deep pockets? They will want to see that your business is profitable. And that's the beauty of the work also that you do, that you capitalize on with your network of all these people who are ready to invest in women. But the business needs to have a promise, but needs to have some traction already.
And can I add something to that?
Yeah, sure.
A lot of the women in our community are, they're seasoned professionals. It's important to say that. A lot of the women in our community, they've been in corporate environments just like you for 20 years, 30 years. The average age of a woman in our community is actually about 47 years old. And so as you are growing in corporate America, remember that one day you will retire. But our brain health expert here can tell you, you're going to keep living for a very long time. You're going
hopefully, yes.
And so when your average ages are going up to in the 70s, 80s, 90 years old, I'm sure that you're going to want to continue to use those skills that you've developed in your corporate life. And so it's so exciting to think about, what can this skill I've developed, what business could this be? Because it may not be a full-time business. It might be something that you're doing freelance or something that you're doing as a hobby that makes you money. But these are still things that you want to take into account, because one day you will retire, but you don't have to retire from using this right here.
Never, never. And speaking of never retiring, of using our brain and enjoying the beauty of connection, I want to invite everybody to join us and the Flourish Media Conference this February. Here is, you can see where you can go and get those tickets. And it's also not only in person. If you cannot come here to Florida, to Miami, to us, there's also options to go virtual. Can you talk about this?
Yes. So the Flourish Media Conference is available to you. You can have a virtual ticket. Some of the things that we really care about with Flourish Media is that growth happens in collaboration. So every single speaker that you hear from during the Flourish Media Conference has actually contributed to a micro grant. And this is something I think we're pretty unique in this, is that we pay you to come to our events.
Yes.
Yes. So you can win a ticket, or you can win a micro grant, whether you attend in person or virtually. And I highly, highly encourage you, if you're not in South Florida and you're at all curious, to get a virtual ticket, because you can join us and you might just be one of our grant winners.
Yes. And let me tell you, going to a virtual conference and coming up with $1,000 or who knows how much more in your pocket that you didn't have at the beginning, that is like, we love to see it. We love to see it. Well, I am certainly excited we're already like 10 days away. So do not, if you want to attend in person, get your tickets now, because I think we only have like 10 more tickets left for in-person. Right. So get your tickets now. Shoot me or Vivian a message, or if you have also, if you want even your company to sponsor, we can help you craft an email and let them know, hey, and there are many wonderful companies that, as Vivian said, that supports entrepreneurial endeavors for their own people, and they will sponsor you to come into the event. So let us know, or if not, come and do the virtual one, which is also a vibe. And we want to see you there, and we want to grow with you. And, I'm personally very looking forward to that. I've been a speaker since the inception of the event. So I'm very looking forward to that. I'm very looking forward to see the pitches of all these wonderful women who will be pitching live in front of investors who are ready to give them money to support their dreams and the amazing impact they're having in our community. So you're going to see all of that. And this year we have like so many amazing people pitching. Like, real quick, can you tell us what can we expect on that pitching?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I can tell you. So we have two biomedical companies that are pitching. We have a tech company that is pitching. We have a production company that's pitching out of Atlanta. So let me tell you about the biomedical product. It's called Pink Luminous Breast, which is a pre-screening device for breast cancer. Oh my God, it's incredible. They've already raised about $500,000 toward their business, and they are looking to raise more so that they can take it to the next level. They've been able to do some amazing things in building this brand, and I'm really excited to see what the investors have to say when they listen and see that pitch. This is just the beginning, you all. And I want you to know that Flourish Media Conference and Behind the Leaf is a closed community of some exciting and wonderful women. Some of the women who have spoken at our conference have not only raised millions of dollars, but they've sold their businesses to Mattel. You know, Crail Essence, who did their pitch at the Flourish Media Conference and then went on, took the feedback from our investors, from our community, and did the same exact pitch on Shark Tank. Speaking of Shark Tank. And they closed the deal with Kevin O'Leary. And so I think it's really exciting to be able to share this opportunity with you, because as you are building your leadership skills and your networking skills, this is such an awesome environment for you to step into and to connect with others. We talked about networking linearly, right? So linear networking for the people right next to you. This is such an incredible group of people to connect with.
Yeah. And if you are a person who's been thinking about putting yourself out there and to pitch your company, this is also a great exercise, so you can be an attendee and sit back and see how the pros do it and what type of questions the funders, people who will fund these women, will be asking. So you can also start like getting those engines on your end, so you can start getting that experience. Sometimes you don't need to be the one pitching, but you can learn a lot by seeing others pitching, right? And this is for those who have been thinking about pitching. But also, if you're watching this and you are part of our community and my community, and you have deep pockets and you also want to be an investor, hit me up, hit Vivian up, email us, or send us a message, because we're still open to, you know, as getting us in our network as many funders as possible. And me, as part of the board of directors, I am all about the partnerships that help us elevate the mission that we have. So if you are a person who's been wanting to back up and to fund small business with big impact, please connect with us. Connect with me, connect with Vivian. We're all ears, and we'll be more than happy to bring you into our ecosystem and to get you in front of companies that are not only profitable, but having great impact in our community. Well, Vivian, thank you so much for spending these minutes with me and for pouring so much value into my community. And we'll see each other soon in the conference.
Yes, indeed. I will see you there. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for watching this. I hope that you gain value from it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.